Shanti Shanti.
All our rituals are designed as self-disciplines. They are all for our evolution. That is why finally, as we evolve in our devotion, finally the whole focus changes and the focus is on our own personality, as we find in the Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter, that what are the lakshanas, the characteristics of a devotee. They are all related to our personality. So in doing puja, even Deva Puja also, lot of austerities are there. We have to fast, we have to arrange for various things in a certain pure manner, following certain rules, physical rules, bodily rules, dress rules, etc. So they all involve some kind of physical austerity. Even worshipping Guru, actually worshipping Guru, it can be thought of as a ritualistic worship as we do during Pada Puja and all, but truly speaking, worshipping a Guru means following his words. That is the ultimate Guru Puja. Now following his words is very important, because in Deva Puja also the Deva is never going to speak to us. So whatever we feel like we will do. We generally make prasada for the idol, for the deity, whatever prasada we like to take. We prefer according to that. We give the Deva and then eat ourselves. The Deva never takes. But in case of a Guru, we have to listen to what the Guru says, and the Guru will ask us to do always not according to our likes and dislikes. Mostly it will be the other way. So in various cases we have to undertake lot of physical austerity in listening to what the Guru has said. Shaucham Arjavam. That Shaucham means all kinds of cleanliness, but when we go deep into it, Shaucham is not just outer cleanliness but inner cleanliness also. And here Shaucham perhaps will mean the outer cleanliness, because the physical tapas they are talking about. Arjavam means straightforwardness. To be straightforward also, there will be lot of physical tapasya involved, because sometimes we are not straightforward just to be idle or just to give indulgence to our physical discomfort or so. If you are straightforward, we will have to compromise with our physical indulgences, idleness and so many other things. Brahmacharyam, that means celibacy, naturally it is physical. Ahimsa. Now ahimsa is not, here it is taken as a physical tapas. That means not to harm others, not to hurt others. That is also a physical tapas, but ahimsa in a greater sense, it is mental tapas also. The harming is not always physical harming. It can be thinking ill of others is also himsa. Having violence in the mind is primary, that violence is expressed outside. So any violence in mind is himsa. Ahimsa actually is not so much physical as it is mental, but here it is physical. So after that he has mentioned about Vangmayam tapa, that is whatever is the oral tapas. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva Vangmayam tapa uchyate. He says that Vangmayam tapa, that means oral tapas with the words, the tapas austerity with the words, they are Anudvegakaram vakyam, that means we should not use words which will agitate others, which will cause anxiety and agitation for others. So naturally we have to restrict our words. We must be aware what is coming out of our mouth. Even chanting with very harsh and not in tune with others is also in a way udvegakaram. While if I am not chanting in tune, proper tune, particularly in a chorus, if we are too loud with our hoarse voice and not in tune with others, naturally we spoil the whole chanting, the sublime effect of chanting will be spoiled, but we are not aware of it. That means we are not given to the Vangmaya tapas, that we chant whatever manner it comes. We are not aware even about that we are spoiling the whole sublimity of the chanting. And Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priya hitam chayat. We have to speak the truth, that is also Vangmaya tapas, which is priya for others, that means others should like my words. Hitam, which will be beneficial for others, which will not be harmful to others. always speaking with so much of care. That means you have to have so much of discipline in your tongue. So the tongue has to be so much disciplined that nothing unwanted should come out of it. Then comes Swadhyaya Abhyasanam Chaiva. That means studying the scriptures and reading, chanting loudly. This is a great tapas. Vangmayam tapa uchyate. This, if I go into it, it will be hours of lecture can be given on this. This chanting and reading as a tapas, it is a great tapas because you have to, particularly Sanskrit, you have to chant with the proper pronunciation. You have to listen to the whatever sound is coming out of it. Any correction to the sound has to be put through the tongue again. So the intelligence has to be very alert that what has gone wrong and how the tongue can be twisted in a different manner so that the right pronunciation comes out. Not only that, if I don't know the sandhis properly, there will be mistake in chanting. So we have to remember the words. If we don't know the meaning of the words also, chanting will not come properly. It will not have its power. As I always said that this Mahakarta, if you say that Maha meaning should be there, you cannot say Mahakarta like that. So naturally, unless we know the meaning of the word while chanting, it will not become powerful. Then finally, if you are reading something from the Shastras and all, while chanting, the whole philosophy should come in the mind, in the intelligence. So lot of focus of the whole personality will get so much one-pointed if you are doing this tapas properly. So Vangmaya tapas is not easy. It can take us to a great level of discipline and integration of the personality we should know. Then the third one they have mentioned here is Manah prasada saumyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samshuddhirityetad tapo manasamuchyate. This is the manasa tapas with the mind. What is that? Manah prasada saumyatvam. The mind should always remain placid and cheerful. Saumya, the word has come from Soma, means moon. It should be like moon-like, placid. Manah prasadaha. Prasadaha means placidity. That always there should be a delightful placidity in the mind, a cheerfulness in the mind. It is not a bubbling cheerfulness, but a placidity, a contentment, a contented mind. So tapas is whenever the mind is getting agitated, anxious about anything, immediately be aware of it and we call it surrender. Surrender it to the ultimate truth, to the truth or to your Guru or to the Lord, whatever manner you can, so that the agitation is subsided and the prasada comes back. Whenever we are worried about anything, the mind will go on thinking. If it is blaming somebody, bring in that everybody has some defect or some qualities also. I also have various defects. Maybe something is there, that is why he is speaking like that. To own the person up. When we own up somebody, immediately the blamingness, the critical point of view would go. So we have to look at it from all sides, how we can preserve the placidity of the mind. Whenever the mind is revolting, reacting selfishly, self-centeredly, blaming others, abusing others, prasada will not be there. Nothing will happen to the other person, but our manah prasada will go. So it's a great tapas to keep the mind always in a placid state. That is called the manasa tapas. Manah prasada saumyatvam. Maunam atma vinigraha. Maunam. Now see, if maunam could have been a vangmayam tapas also. To practice maunam means silence. Actually they could have given maunam in the vangmaya tapas also, because silence is the control of the tongue. But here they have put the maunam in the mind, because it is not enough not to speak. People, you will find that somebody is practicing mauna, but throughout the day he is giving chits, writing things, this, that. One chit he is writing, he is practicing maunam and writing and tell this person this, tell that person this. And many of them you will find that they are quite agitated thoughts he is expressing. That this man did not do this, ask him to do that, or something like that. So actually that maunam will not have much effect at all. It is only the physical maunam is not at all powerful. Maunam has to be in the mind. That means the mind should not always be given to chit-chatting, scattering and here and there. It should be remaining in a placid state, in a silent state. So, maunam for the mind is quite difficult. Atma vinigraha, that means undergoing all kinds of self-discipline, not to indulge in anything that we are interacting with, whether it is food or other sense enjoyments or mental enjoyments and whatnot, everywhere to withdraw it from the indulgences and keep it in an integrated, disciplined state. Bhava samshuddhirityetat tapo manasamuchyate. The final is the bhava samshuddhi. Samshuddhi means samyak shuddhi. Bhava means the mindset. This is the ultimate manasa tapas. What is that? See, always here we come to a very suggestive technique of self-purification also. Because whenever we are behaving wrongly, we become aware of our behavior only after behaving wrongly. Suppose I am hurting somebody, only I have already hurt somebody or the hurting behavior has come out, then only I am aware of it and I think that, oh, again I have hurt this person, I should not have behaved like this. Again I have spoken strongly to my guru or very revolting to my guru, I should not do this. After it comes out, then only we are aware. But we can never improve like that, because when it has come out, it is the effect. To have any correction, have any change, we have to operate, we have to treat the causal level, at the causal level. We have to go to the causal level and apply the treatment there. That is, this hurting behavior or wrong behavior is coming because of some wrong thought in me. Unless, suppose the blaming thoughts are not there, abusing thoughts are not there, will I ever blame or abuse? It will not be there. Because those thoughts I am preserving, it is coming out in the behavior also. So, it is better to apply the correction in the thought level, so that the behavior will automatically get corrected. So, the first step is to look into the causal level, to correct our behavior, change at the causal level of thoughts. When the thoughts are coming, no, it's a wrong thought, I should not have this thought, then my behavior also will be wrong. And correct at the thought level that no wrong thought, no selfish thought, no blaming thought should come to the mind. There also we will find that our sadhana is not becoming very effective, because those thoughts will go on coming. And you will say that for 40 years I have been struggling, even now the bad thoughts are coming, what to do with that? It will happen, because where from the thoughts are coming, we have to look to the further causal level. Always to have more efficient change, we have to go to the deeper and deeper causal level. Now, what is the further causal level? Where from the thoughts are coming? Thoughts are coming from a certain mindset, your bhava, that is what we call bhava. That means, suppose this is an orange cloth here, from which orange rays are coming, the color orange radiations are coming. Suppose you have a iron ball, you take it to red hot, then the rays coming out will be all red. If you make it blue hot, then all the rays coming out will be blue. So, the rays coming out will depend on what is the basic quality or the characteristics of the source of the iron ball here. Similarly, whatever is the bhava of the mind, according to that the thoughts are coming. Thoughts you consider as rays coming out of the mindset. So, if the mindset is selfish, it will produce only selfish thoughts, the rays of selfish thoughts. If the mindset is very constricted, miserly, it will produce miserly constricted thoughts. If the mindset is very liberal, it will produce liberal thoughts. So, we will not be able to correct the thoughts unless we work on the mindset which is producing the thoughts. That is the deep causal level. So, we have to, that is meant by bhava samshuddhi, samyak shuddhi, that is complete, very well purification of the bhava of the mind, that is the mindset, the basic bhava. And that is what the spiritual sadhana is. that throughout the day we talk about soul, we think about soul, we read about soul. And what is that soul? The soul is universal, unaffected. It is never tainted by anything at all. So that is what we do in spiritual sadhana also, constantly thinking about the soul, ruminating on the soul, and soul is which is absolutely unaffected, untainted, that never undergoes any change at all. That is what the soul is. And if we constantly interact with the concept of the soul, constantly go on interacting with the concept of the soul, what happens is that the mind assumes the qualities of the soul by thinking about it. For everything, whatever we are interacting with, those qualities will come to us. In the mental level, whatever thoughts we are feeding to the mind, according to those thoughts, the mind will develop the characteristics. So constantly interacting with the uniform, all-pervading, unaffected, unchanging soul, the mind also takes the qualities of the soul. It takes the self dimension, the dimension of the soul. So this bhava samshuddhi, the purification of the bhava, the real purification is when it takes to the mind becomes the soul. That is the ultimate spirituality. That is why our Shastras, they say that the pure mind is nothing but the soul. The soul is nothing but the pure mind itself. Because the mind takes the dimension of the soul finally. Now you understand why they have said, Satyena labhyas tapasa hyesha atma. This atma has to be attained by satya and tapas. There are others also which I will come to, but primarily this satya and tapas. You see how in both this practicing the truthfulness or truth, how we gradually move from one level to the other level. Initially we have to completely reject all the mithya, all the lies, not only lies, all the hiding tendencies, everything which is covering up, which is complicating which is polluting our mind. Everything has to be rejected to go to the satya, to the truth, and finally go to the transcendental level of satya. And also in case of tapas, this starting from the physical tapas to oral tapas to mental tapas. Similarly, intelligential tapas also is included in the mental tapas. When you think about the soul and all, it is all the tapasya for the intelligence also. If you make your intelligence think about only the defects of others or some qualities here, there, etc., intelligence also will become small. It will remain occupied with the fragmented thinking, fragmented things and all. But more and more we delve in the Shastras, delve with the truth of the soul, etc., the mind and intelligence, they will take to the soul dimension. They will become freely, they will access the knowledge. That is how it happens. That Satyena labhyas tapasa hyesha atma. Then comes samyajnanena brahmacharyena nityam. Brahmacharya means celibacy. It's a great discipline given to the body. It is not only for the unmarried people. Unmarried people, brahmacharya is otherwise also there. One doesn't have to say. But for the married people also, brahmacharya means not to give to self-indulgence. There should be discipline. The brahmacharya is actually more important for the married people. It should be under a certain discipline. Otherwise they will fritter away their real power. The ojas will go. That ojas has to be preserved to work on the knowledge part of it, to work on our entire being, on our wholesome being, so that the Brahma Varchas comes out, the glow of Brahman will come from our being. So that needs brahmacharya also. And then comes samyajnanena. All these have to be done nityam. This satya and all this tapas, samyajnana and brahmacharya, they have to be practiced. Nitya means always, all along, as far as possible, as long as possible. Om bhadram karnebhih shrunuyama devaah.
Om bhadram karnebhih shrunuyama devaah.
भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः
भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः
स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवांसस्तनूभिः
स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवांसस्तनूभिः
व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः
व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः
स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः
स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः
स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः
स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः
स्वस्ति नस्ताक्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः
स्वस्ति नस्ताक्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः
स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु
स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
सत्येन लभ्यस्तपसा ह्येषात्मा सम्यज्ञानेन ब्रह्मचर्येण नित्यम् अन्तःशरीरे ज्योतिर्मयो हि शुभ्रो यं पश्यन्ति यतयः क्षीणदोषाः. So we discussed about Satya, and these are all the sadhana by which this Atma can be known. So in the sadhana part we have already discussed the Satya and tapas, that is truth and austerity, ascesis. Now in Satya I said that we start with the usual moral code of Satya and Mithya, be truthful, etc. But when we proceed further, then it becomes the ultimate truth, which is the permanent, which is never changing. So we have to go to that transcendental dimension finally to attain the real Satya. But certainly it has to proceed from the usual lower level Satya as we think of. Because as I explained, that Mithya means whenever we are taking to falsehood or we are trying to hide something, we are trying to pose differently than what we are. In all those cases, what is happening is we are consolidating our constricted ego, our limited constricted identity. That is why we are taking recourse to Mithya, Maya, etc. Recourse to Mithya, then posing differently, which is called Maya, then speaking, hiding something. All these things are coming because of our constricted, our small ego. So the sadhana must start from there, and we have to become more and more truthful. Only then we can finally transcend to the ultimate Satya, which is the transparence. Finally it becomes absolute transparence. There won't be any opacity. Generally people try to hide certain things. I don't want my the adverse qualities to be known, even to our Gurudev. We want to hide from Guru also. So that creates an opaque curtain in us through which the Guru cannot penetrate. So in sadhana this Satya is extremely important. Transparency is extremely important. That whatever I am. Opening up oneself like a book completely. May I also see what is there inside, and may my Guru also see what is there inside. Let me be truthful to what I am. Only then the question of finding out what are the small defects, small insufficiencies, desires, etc. they are hiding in our being. They have to be spotted and they have to be removed. This is not possible as long as we are trying to hide ourselves. So Satya is not just the simple moral code of speaking the truth. It has to go to higher and higher dimension, to a much greater comprehensive level, where it merges with the ultimate truth or transparence, where the soul manifests in its pristine form. Similarly, tapas, we said we had discussed from Bhagavad Gita, the 17th chapter, the 4 verses. They are from 17th chapter, 14th to 17th, where the 3 verses we have discussed the austerity, bodily austerity, then speech austerity, then mental austerity. And all these 3 they have said in the last, that is the 17.17, they have said that when these austerities are done without looking for any gain, desireful gain, for fulfillment of any desire or reward or anything, when they are done like that, then they become sattvika austerity, they become sattvika tapas.